Okay, Bijan.
Hello, Mary.
Yeah, Bijan.
Okay.
Please start.
Okay.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. I welcome all the participants who are present today to the third day of International Conference on Northeast Languages, organized by Department of Linguistics, Assam University, in collaboration with Tivlane. This morning in this session, we have one plenary talk by Professor Madhumita Borbora, and following after, we have two scholars who will be presenting their papers. The first one is Dr. Metsek Sampar Awan, and the second one is a co-paper by Ibtesam Ahmad and Papori Rabha. So before I invite Professor Madhumita Borbora, being in the chair, it is my bounded duty to introduce Professor Madhumita Borbora. She is not a new face for every one of us. She is very well known. So Professor Madhumita Borbora is a professor and former head of the Department of English and Foreign Languages, Tezpur University, Assam. She is also the coordinator of the Center for Endangered Languages, Tezpur University. Her research area are in the field of syntax, field linguistics, documentation of Tibeto-Burman languages of Northeast India, and applied linguistics. She has published a number of books and papers, most significant of which is Bugun Yo Thao, Bugun Reader in 2015. Besides, she has completed several research projects, among which the most recent is the project titled Digital Language Preservation, that is DLP, awarded by Department of Electronics and Information Technology, New Delhi. Apart from this, Madam is actively engaging in the documentation work of the Northeast languages. So without wasting any more further time, I would like to invite Professor Madhumita Borbora to kindly present her presentation. Over to you, Madam.
Thank you, Bijan. And I'd like to thank the organizers, that is of Assam University, and as well as Tivlane for giving me the opportunity to speak before you all. And today, as Monali had suggested, that it should be on something Bodish, but then since I worked on Kobwa, I'll be working on that, talking on that rather, and with my presentation, it would be shared. Let me share the screen first, and then we'll get started. Yeah. So I shall be talking mostly on three languages of the Kobwa group cluster, that is Duhumbi, then Bulupuroik, and Bugund. Now, the Kobwa cluster is a group of linguistic communities which is relatively small compared to the other language groups of Arunachal Pradesh. This is a very small group and the population is very low too. And this group is of the speakers of this linguistic group is found mostly in West Kameng district of Arunachal Pradesh. They spread over West Kameng district. And in East Kameng, they are found in the border that is adjacent to the West Kameng. If you look into the map of the western Arunachal Pradesh, where we have Tawang, West Kameng, and East Kameng, Duhumbi, Kishpi, these are languages which are spoken near the Dirang circle. Then Bulupuroik is somewhere up there over Nafra. That is, if you look into the map, where Trisino, it's beyond that Nafra, where Bulupuroik, it's a very small group, the smallest group, in fact, of the cluster. And then Bugun is near the Bomdila circle and Sinchung circle, where it is spoken in this area. And so there are other languages which are belonging to this cluster, which is found in the Shardukpen is found in Rupa and Shergaon. Then you have it in the group in Sinchung, then other places which I will be right now showing you. So the languages of the cluster is Kishpi Duhumbi. So we'll be focusing on Duhumbi. This group is also known as Lishpa or Lishmonpa. Duhumbi is also known as Chukpa or Chugmonpa. Then we have another language, Sartang, which is also known as Butmompa. Sherdukpen, which blends 2015, calls it May. And then we also have Bugun, which is also known as Kowa, and Puroik, which is also known as Suluk. So these are the languages or the communities which come under this group. Now, all these communities, they comprise of around 22 varieties as per Leibacher and Bott 2017 in the paper where they looked into the cognacy of the languages to establish the Kobwa circle cluster. So Duhumbi has a population, the Chukpa has a population of 600, Kishpi has around 1500, Rupa, Sherdukpen spoken in Rupa is 3000 and Sherdukpen spoken in Shergao is 1500. Sertang has got 4 varieties. Rahung has 600 speakers, Koitam has 500, Jerigao has 400, Koina has 500. And then Bugun also has 6 varieties here. Dikyang has 100 speakers. Sinchung, which is the largest, has 680 speakers. Wanghu has 220 speakers. Bichum has 630 speakers. Kaspi 80 and Namfri 180. And the Puroik speakers, that is a Bulu Puroik, which I'm going to look here, has about 7 to 20 speakers, very small group. And then the other groups are Koyo Royo, Rava, Sario Sarai, Sayan Takyo, and Lasum Pate. Now, each of the villages, they have not been, they were assumed to have somewhere around a few hundreds. Now, this is the data of the number of speakers collected by Leibacher and Bott for the paper in 2017. Now, when we compare this with the census, we get a different picture where Lishpa is considered to have 2,422 speakers, and the Lishpa includes Kishpi and Duhumbi, and the total of Lishpa and Duhumbi as per Leibacher and Bott is 2,100. Sherdukpen as per census 11 is 3,456, and by Leibacher et al. Is 4,500. Now, what we find is the Butmonpa or Sartang, which is a big range of difference. The Sartang, according to census 2011, is 255. There could be some digit dropping or something, I don't know, but then Leibacher and Bott finds 2,000. So Kishpi, Duhumbi, Sartang, these languages are also considered to be Monpa, and so most of the counting done by census would most likely be added into the Monpa group, which is why we see a variation. But Bugun 2011 has 1432. When I did a door-to-door counting, I found 1700, and Leibacher and Bott finds 1890. So, and Puroik is 4,519 by census level. It's a big group. And Bulu Puroik is the only Puroik data that we have from Leibacher and Bott. So coming to the background of how this Kobwa cluster came into being, it started in the early 50s when Stoner observed that Puroik and Bugun to be mutually intelligible. It was Sun in 1992-1993 who was the first person to suggest that Puroik, Bugun, Sherdukpen, and Lishpa Buta, that is Kishpi and Sartang, are not just random residue when all other languages are subtracted, but they may form a coherent linguistic group. It is Vendrine in 2001, when he writes the volumes on Himalayan languages, where he says that the group was named as Kobwa cluster after reconstruction for water and fire. Actually, Ko means water and Bua is fire in these languages. Now, Blanche and Post 2014 and Post and Berling 2017 are skeptical about Puroik being part of the Ko-Bua group. Leiberher and Bott 2017 recommended the use of Ko-Bua as a label for these languages, stating any language of Western Arunachal Pradesh in which the word for water starts with a K sound and the word for fire starts with a B sound is a Ko-Bua language. Looking at the cognate, if you look into it, this is taken from Leiberher, page 50 and 61. Duhumbi is Ko and Bay. Hishpi is Ko and Bay, similar. Bulupuruik is Ko and Bay, and Dikyang is Ko and Boe. Sinchung is Ko and Boe. Wanghu is Ko and Boe. Kaspi is Kau and Ba. And Puroik, this Koyo Royo Puroik, this is spoken in East Kameng, it is Kwa and Bai. So if you look into the paper, you will find a list of 100 words taken from the 22 varieties to establish the cognates and to assert the existence of the Ko-Bua cluster. Now the cognacy percentage, that is Duhumbi and Kishpi are very close, though they are two different groups and they have 91% similarity. Duhumbi with Sherdukpen and Sartang has got 69 to 75%. Cognacy between percentage between Duhumbi and Puroik varieties range from 34 to 48. Between Duhumbi and Bugun ranges from 37 with Kaspi Bugun and 42 with Dikyang Bugun. Of course, the other Bugun variety, the other 4 varieties are not taken into consideration. This is in Bott 2017. Now, grouping of the Ko-Bua cluster. Based on the cognacy percentage, the Ko-Bua cluster have been divided into 3 groups. The Western Ko-Bua group comprising Kishpi, Duhumbi, Sherdukpen and Sartang. This group shows a clear split between Kishpi, Duhumbi and Sartang Sherdukpen varieties. The Bugun varieties Dikyang, Wichom, Wangho, Sinchung, Kaspi and Namfri appear to be equally closer. So there is not much of a divide here. And even when I have worked in the field, I also saw that there is, except for some sounds, there is not much of a variation within this within the Bugun language. But the Puroik language is split into 2. We have the Western Puroik, which is Bulu Puroik and Koyo, Royo and Rava, and the East Puroik, which is Sarawisara, Tayo and Lasum Pate. And others here include some of the work done by Sun, where it had shown, where this paper shows that Puroik spoken not only in Arunachal Pradesh, that is in the Papumpare, Kurumkurme district, but also in China. So that I have not included here. So if you want, you can read the paper and get to know. So now, other languages in Western Arunachal Pradesh, what are the other languages and do they have any impact on the Ko-Bua cluster? That is what we will see as we proceed. So Dirang Monpa or Sangla and Kalaktang Monpa, Brokpa, that is Jongka, and Miji are Dhamai, then Risoaka, they're in West Kameng. In East Kameng, the big group is Bangni, that is Nishi or Dafla, and Miji is also there. But Koro is a small group, so the impact would be more from Nishi than from the others. So before we start, I'm going to be comparing the numeral system of Duhumbi, Bulupuroik, and Bugun in order to establish this observation that has been made by Leiberher and Bott that the Western Ko-Bua group varies from the Eastern Ko-Bua group. So for the Western group, we have 2 languages. We have Duhumbi and Bulupuroik, which is part, and then for the Eastern group, we have Bugun. Now, if you look into the Western group numeral system, it is seen it is inherited from the Proto-Western Ko-Bua and most likely after the Eastern-Western Cobra split. Because why God observes this? This is from his PhD dissertation. Why does he observe this? Because the numeral system of the Bugun language and its varieties are very different from that of Duhumbi, which is a vegesimal system. So you can see here that from 1 to 20, we have the basic cardinals of Duhumbi. Now, for the numeral 20 beyond, so if I have to build beyond 20, Duhumbi uses the conjunction dung or its variant form dung na. Na is the genitive case marker. So Bott observes that in careful speech and elicitation that if you go slowly, you can hear the conjunction with the genitive. Dangna is heard, but as the speed of the speech increases, you may hear only dung, and then when it goes faster, then you don't hear the conjunction with the genitive is dropped. Now, since this is a vegesimal system, you have to the compounds will be of 20 into, so it is, if it is 40, it is 20 into 2, 40. If it is 50, you have multiplication of 22 into 20 plus 10. If it is 66, it is 3 into 2, 60 into 20, 60 plus 6, 66. So you have, if you look at it from the mathematical point, you will see that there is a repeat of multiplication and addition for the higher numbers. So here we have the number for 20, K in. Then we have 25, K in, Danna, Kai is then plus 5, that is 5, Kai is 5. Then for 35, again, you have 30 coming 20 plus 15. You have, then for 50, you have plus 10, we have already seen. For 76, it is 20 plus 3 plus 16, and so on and so forth. So you have the numbers of the higher, I mean, the numerals, as you can see here, it grows. Then for 100, it is, you have a number, K, yeah, and then what is interesting is that when we come to 800, 400 is for kung, that is what we need to look at. This is only one word. We have a one word for it, and then we have kunis, that is 400 into 2, that is 800. So if I have to make 1000, it becomes, you have multiplication, you have addition, and you have a subtraction too. So it is more like 2 into 4, 800 plus half. What is half of 400? That is 200. And then you get 1000. So you would have to do a bit of mathematics to derive these numbers. And so Duhumbi has got multiplication, addition, and subtraction, which is employed for derivation of higher numerals. Coming to Bugun and Bulupuruik, we find that Bugun is it belongs to the eastern group of Kobwa, and it has got a decimal system. Similarly, Bulupuruik, which is though a part of the western Kobwa, it also shows a decimal system, and there is a number of similarity, like especially the numbers 7 and 8 are very similar, even 10, if you look at it. Then 6 are Rab and Re. And number 3 is also similar, because later when we will see the higher numbers, you will see that will be substituted by im. So this is very interesting, that why do we have Bulupuruik has a decimal system which Bugun has. And we will come to this later as we go down the paper. And Bugun and Bulupuruik have a decimal numeral system in contrast to the vegesimal. And Leiberhardt 2017 comments that the numerals 1 to 10 are suspiciously similar to Bugun, that is the Bulupuruik one, In Bugun, as in Bulupuru, the numerals for 7 and 8 have an mer prefix. In the Puroic dialects in the East, that is in East Kamen, the Puroic language is spoken in East Kamen, the numerals 7 and 8 do not have the mer prefix. Of course, we need to investigate more data of the Puroic varieties in East Kamen in order to establish it as what Leiberher observes. In Bugun, the conjunctive marker na combines with the numerals, and the conjunctive marker na has a full form nana. When the numerals 11 to 19 are built, the cardinal numeral swa 10 combines with the conjunctive na and is followed by the basic cardinals 1 to 9. For instance, when geo 1 follows swana to form swana geo 10 and 1, we have 11. Native speaker use the weak form sna for swana when they build the digits from 11 to 19. And the contracted form sna precedes the cardinal geo to 1 to dige 9 rather than the full form swana. So here we have another variant of 10. So this is addition, we see swa na geo, that is 10 plus 1. So the conjunction na does the job of addition. So we have snagio, snagua, snamilia, snadige, snaneng, snawi, snarab, snamelia. So this is one variant of 10 that we see. And in Bulupuroic, you use the ablative case marker lapu to form the higher digits as swan, laputi, swan, lapuni. And here, unlike Bugun, we do not see any variation for the 10. It is just the same. The 10 that we see in 1 to 10, the number, it is here we find that swan lapu, swan lapuni, swan lapu im, swan lapu vi, swan lapu u, ri, malia, malio, and dongi. So there is no variation of the 10. Now what happens, besides the basic cardinal numerals 1 to 10, Bugun has a basic cardinal Ichak or Ichak 20. In case of the cardinals 21 to 29, the conjunctive na combines with the basic numeral to form, and in regular speech, the conjunctive na can be dropped. So we have another, you see, Bugun has more variation than Bulupuroic. So we have 20 to 29, Ichak na Gio, Ichak na Nyang, we Gua Rab Milia, Malia, Dige. So, and then from 30 onwards, we have another variant coming in for 10, and that is Sa. Saum, Savi, Sa, Gua Gua Rab Milia, Malia Dige, and the numbers 31, 32, when it comes, we have the addition. We'll have an addition along with the multiplication. And then in Bulupuria, we find the 10 remains the same, 10 into 220, 10 into 330. So the marker remains the same for 10. And the cardinals for 100 in Bugun starts with another basic numeral, Viam. So Viamja, Viamnyang, Viam. So this is what we have for Bugun. Then for Bulupuri, hundreds and thousands and compounds are 100, which is Punu, and 100 Monpa, or that is Hajar from Indian languages, with the exception of, that is when you form 101, 1001, and million one, 10 million one, we don't use T here. Instead, we use Chi, that is 1. So you have 100 Chi, that's 100, 200, 300, 400, 110, 11. These are the multiplications that we see in Bulupuroi. And we move to the ordinal system of Duhumbi. Duhumbi does not have ordinal numbers. The ordinal position in any row series expressed by combination of postposition It's like gam, which means front, and lakun, which means behind. So if we say, and then you use a superlative marker tapka to form gam tapka, which means first, gam takpa ah lakun, that is front, superlative genitive behind the one behind the first. Then you have the one behind the second. You have gam tapka nis lak ah lakun. So, but in Bugun, we get to have 3 ordinals. The first one is ibi. The second and third are periphastic expressions where we are jai pa do. So you have the definite marker 1, that is definite next, that is 1, definite next to next, that is you have the definite marker being reiterated for third. Bugun alternately also uses the words ego first, tuchoi middle, and edo last as ordinals. And if we have as an apua a, get te thapa teacher ego. Father was the first teacher of a village. Ge muchua ego dog. I saw the tiger first. So in such context, you use words like ego, tuchoi, and edo. And then Bugun also has iterative ordinal for once, twice, thrice, and you use the iterative marker long, that is, and it precedes the basic numeral. So we have longja, longnyang, longum, longwi, longwa. So we find that Bugun ordinals are richer than that of Duhumbi, and we couldn't find data of ordinals in Bulupuroik, so we are leaving that out. So the observations that we make is that Duhumbi is a vegesimal, has a vegesimal numeral system. Bulupuroik and Bugun has decimal. Numbers 1 to 10 are quite similar between Bulupuroik and Bugun, especially 7 and 8. Compound numerals are formed by multiplication and addition in Bulupuroik, Bugun, and Duhumbi. Subtraction is observed in Duhumbi cardinal number 1000. To form compound, Duhumbi takes conjunction dung and the genitive na. Bulupuroik takes the ablative case marker lapu, while Bugun takes the conjunction na. Bugun has 2 more basic numerals, Ichak and Wiam. Bulupuroik Tier 1 has a variant Chi. Bugun has 3 variants of 10, Swa, Sna, Sa. Duhumbi has no native ordinals. Bugun ordinals are limited to 3. Alternately, Igo, Tuchoi, and Edo are used, and iterative ordinals are formed by the iterative marker long, which precedes the cardinal numbers. Now, after making this observation, I would like to, this should have been hypothesis, I would skip this, that is, we come to the 3 hypotheses. And this hypothesis has been observed by bots in trying to understand the kind of variation that we find in the numeral system in the Western group as well as in the Eastern group. The first possibility is the vigesimal system was common to all the Khobwa language, but replaced in Bugun and Puroik by decimal system under the influence of contact languages such as Nishi. So this is one, and it has another evidence that a Bugun numeral Ichek or 20 Ichak may through palatalization be possibly related to Proto-Western Khobwa Khal 20. So this is, if you do a diachronic study, you look into such issues, and Bott in his thesis does quite a bit of diachronic work, and this is what he observes. This is the first hypothesis, but according to Bott, this is a bit far-fetched. And there is a second one, that a vigesimal system in the various Western Khobwa varieties was borrowed independently from one of the Bodish contact languages or Sangla. But here also, Bott has to say that the Duhumbi numerals are very different from the Bodish and the Sangla varieties found in the western, that is in the Dirang Valley as well as in Tawang. So this also does not hold true for him. And then the last observation, and which he affirms goes by it, is that at the Proto-Boa level there was a decimal system, and that the vegesimal system and many of the numerals, which are quite divergent and not reconstructible between Western Kobua on one hand and Puroik and Bugun on the other, was introduced by the northern migration stream, contributing to the ancestors of Sertang, Shadupen, Kishpi, and Duhumbi after their divergence from Puroik and Bugun. So this is just an observation of the numeral system within the Kobua cluster. And this is not a very conclusive, I couldn't say that we have come to a final observation. We need to put in some more work in order to get a better idea of what is happening. Especially we need to look into the languages, that is the Kobua languages spoken in East Cummings, that is namely the Puroik varieties. There are 3 varieties there. Also, we need to look into the contact languages, that is Nishi and other languages that is present there. And maybe then we can come across some, we can conclude as to what's happening. And that needs time, and we need more researchers to come in to work. And thank you for the...
Thank you, Madam. That was a comprehensive scent of Kobua cluster, and that was really interesting to learn all the languages coming under this Kobua, and giving a presentation on the numeral system of these cluster languages. And interestingly, at the end part, the hypothesis that you have postulated is really, I think it's really systematic. Because of the language contact, the bigesimal system becoming to the decimal system. Thank you, Madam, for your such a wonderful presentation.
Thank you,
as we have a bit time, so we can take 1 or 2 questions very quickly. So now the floor is open for discussion. So participants can unmute and can speak directly to the speaker. So we have, this is not a question, this is a comment. So the Proto-Western Kobua Khal, there is a 20, is very similar with the Dimasa Khon. That is one of the comments from, I think, from Monali.
So the thing is that, if you actually, we have a project to work on the numeral system in Northeast, I suppose we are going to see a pattern emerging. And because most of us, we are into synchronic study. We don't go for diachronic. Like Western scholars, they are into diachronic work. So such questions, and these are not my questions, these are questions from Bott. And his thesis is really one thesis worth reading, but the thing is, he has published it as a book. It's published in 2020. So it's a highly expensive one. But then I think so each university library can get a copy of it, because it will help us to understand, especially in Arunachal, so that we can, and incidentally, I happen to be the second supervisor, both Leiberher and Bott. So I had access, and I spoke to them and said that I'd like to work on the system, the numeral system. They said, ma'am, please go ahead. So I'll have to discuss. There are a lot of questions I also have in this paper as I prepared the paper. So I need to also ask a number of questions, and I'll have to discuss with them, time permitting. And that's it.
Okay. Meantime, ma'am, when we are waiting for our participants for their questions, so what could be the potential reason, apart from this language contact, the changing or replacing of this Bugun and Bulu from digicimal to the decimal?
That is one thing I don't know.
Okay.
Because, like I said, I myself, I feel very limited because we have been doing synchronic work. And the importance of diachronic work comes out here, which the very reason why I brought this paper up was so that our young scholars can give also importance to diachronic study. And it becomes very difficult, even they have been trained by Professor Vendrim, they are his scholars.
Mhm.
So they have been into a lot of diachronic study, but even then it becomes very difficult because you see the number of people who speaks Bulupurik, there are only 6 of them. Or 7 to 20 is the speaker, number of speaker. They speak Miji, they speak Hindi, but they don't speak Bulupurik. Only, and that was in 2015, 14, I think so, 17, their PhD came true. So around 6 brothers, they're all cousins, but they speak, the men, they speak, they're cousins, but the wives are from either Miji community or from Sartang. So they don't use the mother tongue at home, only amongst the siblings they use it. And therefore, maybe we couldn't find ordinals, Ismail couldn't provide us with ordinals in his thesis. I was wondering, and everything is in detail, why is the ordinal missing? It's missing only because maybe the speakers don't have, they lost it. And therefore, when you don't have the history and there is nothing in writing, you have to go, and Professor Vendrim is the person we should ask him this question. I
Okay.
suppose he's the right person to answer.
Okay. Thank you, madam.
Yeah.
So still there is the room for kind of carrying out some diachronic kind of study also, so
Yeah,
that we can get an
we
answer
should.
to these questions. Okay. So thank you very much. So now we are running out of time. So if any participant have the question and query observation, we can take it at the end of the session. Now, moving on to the next speaker, I would like to invite Dr. Mechek Sampar Awan. Awan, are you there? Awan? Okay. Yeah, yes, he has already put up his slide. Now, Owen, yeah, you
Yeah,
can take your time.
Bijan.
Yes.
Yeah, Bijan. Actually, Awan's power circuit is happening in Awan's place. So I have shared his PPT.
Okay.
So I don't know if he's there or not.
Yeah, I think he's here. Owen, can you hear me?
Hello.
Yeah, Owen.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your time now. You can take your time and please, yeah, I'm formally inviting you to proceed with your presentation.
Okay. Yeah. Am I audible now?
Yeah, yeah, you are very much. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. The Department of Linguistics, Assam University, Silchar, and Tiblane for giving me this time. I would like to wish you all a very good morning. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Please go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So the title of my paper is Numeral System in Tangam. Okay, going to the next slide. Let's see the content. First of all, I will be presenting the brief introduction to the language. And second, numeral system, introduction to the numeral system in Tangam, and cardinal numerals, ordinal, multiplicative, and conclusion. And these are the content that I'm going to discuss today. So let's go to the introduction. Tangam is one of the 14 subtribes of major Adi tribe of Arunachal Pradesh. Adi tribes are mainly confined in 9 districts of Arunachal Pradesh. They are Siang district, East Siang, Upper Siang, West Siang, Lower Dibang Valley, Lohit, Namsai, and Siomi. These they are confined in these 9 districts. So Tangam language, it is classified under Tani branch of Tibeto-Burman language family by Roger Blends and Post 2015. It is a very critically endangered language spoken only in Kuging village, in Tuting circle, and Tuting town itself in Upper Siang district, Arunachal Pradesh. Their population is only 253, according to the survey of CFEL in 2016. And shockingly, the population was 2,000 in 1961 census, and this decline of the population might be was due to the frequent inter-community feud that happened in the past years. So the population decreased to 253 only. It was 2,000, around 2,000 in 1961. So, so it is one of the most, one of the critically endangered language. So coming to the, okay, some of the published works on Tangam languages are the recently published The Tangams and Ethno-Linguistic Study of Critically Endangered Group of Arunachal Pradesh. It was published by Center for Endangered Languages, RGU, in 2020. And another one is Tangam Language Grammar, Lexicon, and Text by Mark Post, Lipir, and Modi, published in 2016. And another one is Tangam Language Guide by Tapoli Badu. In 2004, it was published by the Directorate of Research, Arunachal Pradesh. And another one is The Tangams by, this is the first ever book on Tangam, written by Tarun Kumar Bhattacharjee in 1975. So the primary data for this paper was collected during the fieldwork in March 2021. I collected the data from Dugbang Lipur, from Kuging village. The data was collected, the fieldwork was not on the study of, it was not on the study of Tangam, it was on study of another language, Bogumbokang. So while interacting with Dugbang, he was a Tangam speaker, so I collected a few data for this paper. So the secondary data was from a source of secondary data was from Tangam Language Guide by Tapuli Badu and Tangam, the book published by the CFL RGU. So there will be some limitation in the data and some limitation in this one description because I have a limited data. So coming to the next slide, we have numeral system in Tangam. This paper discusses only three types of numeral system in Tangam. They are cardinal numeral, ordinal, and multiplicative numerals. So it is observed that from the data, the numeral system in Tangam is of decimal type. So vigesimal system is not found in the language, and no numeral classifier is not found in the language. So coming to the cardinal numerals, we have in Tangam, we can classify the cardinal numerals into two, that is basic and compound cardinals. The basic cardinal numerals from 1 to 10 in Tangam can be classified as the basic numerals. So Yokon is 1, Yoni, Yoden, Yopi, Yongo, Yokung, Kene, Pini, Konang, Ang. These are the basic numerals. So here something interesting is happening. A prefix yo is always prefixed to the numeral from 1 to 6 to make the word bisyllabic. So another morphophonemic alteration also occurs in this basic numerals, that the vowel O in the prefix yo is shortened in the numeral 1, that is yokon, 5 yongo, and yokung. Due to the occurrence of geminates, that is ka and nga. So the vowel is shortened. In other, we can observe that in other numerals like 3, 4, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, they are long vowels, yo. So, okay, coming to the compound cardinals, there are 3 types of compound cardinal numerals in Tangam. That is additive compound, multiplicative compound, and multiplicative additive compound cardinals. So in additive compound cardinals, the numeral from 11 to 19 only can be classified as the additive compound cardinals. That is elang yokon. Elang is a conjunctive suffix, which is always attached to the aing, that is 10. It is 10 plus 1, 10 plus 2, 10 plus 3, 10 plus 9 for 19. The compounds are formed by addition of 10 with the numeral 1 from 1 to 10. So coming to the next slide, multiplicative. All the zero ending numerals from 20 and beyond are multiplicative compounds in Tangam as shown in the table. So for 20, we have aing ani. This is aing is 10 and into 2 is 20. 10 into 3, aing aden is 30. Aing api, and then 400 it is la. 100 is la plus akon, yokon, la plus yokon, that is 100 into 1 is 100, 100 into laden, 100 into 3, 300, lango, la plus yongo, it is 500. So, okay, we are coming to the multiplicative additive compound cardinals. In Tangam are formed by addition of numerals from 1 to 9 to the multiplicative compounds, that is zero ending numbers. Here we have for 21, it is aing akon elang. Another this the suffix conjunctive suffix elang is also attached here. Aing ani elang yokon, that is 21. Aing elang yokon. Aing ani elang yoni, that is 22. And likewise, all the numerals from 20 and above with this multiplicative additive compound goes like this. So let's go to the ordinal numerals. Excepting the first and second, the ordinal numerals in Tangam are formed by suffixing the suffix nape to the ordinal number. So Nyapyang is first, and Delambi second, and then from third, fourth, fifth, 10, it goes Yoden nape, Yopi nape for fourth, Konang nape, Aing nape. It goes like this for the rest of the numerals. So coming to the multiplicative numerals, they are formed by prefixing le, the prefix le to the cardinal numerals. So once it is lekon, le plus yokon is lekon, so it's once, and then let ni, let then, let pin, lengo for 5 times. Coming to the conclusion, Tangam is a critically endangered language that belongs to Tani branch of Tibeto-Burman language family. It has a total population of only 253 speakers who are mainly confined in Kuging village in Tuting circle and Tuting town in Upper Siang district, Arunachal Pradesh. The numeral system in Tangam is decimal type. The language has native comes for the numerals from 1 to 99. For the rest of the numerals, it is borrowed words. The ordinal numerals are formed by suffixing nape to the cardinal numerals, and multiplicative numerals are formed by prefixing le to the cardinal numerals. So this is with this. These are the references. Yeah, that is all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Owen, for your short and detailed presentation. Yes, so we have enough time to take the question for your presentation. Yeah, one thing that I would like to know is Tangam, as you are already pointed out in some of the slide, that this is comes under the RT. So is this a language or is this a variety of RT?
It is a language. It is completely different. I mean, it is not mutually intelligible with any other varieties of Adi.
Okay. All right. And as the speaker number of the population is very less, like 253, and they're confined in Kuging village and Tuting town. So can you give an idea how many villages are confined in this Kuging village? Or it's just a name of a village?
It is a village, yeah, name of the village. It is the only village that, it is the only village where Tangam speakers are there, Kuging village.
All right. Okay, thank you. Yes, now the paper is open for discussion. So, yeah, I think Sangte ma'am wants to give some comment. Okay. Yeah, Madam is writing that I find interesting that Tangam does not have numerant classifiers. Okay, this is one comment from Dr. Sangte. Yeah, so the participants can unmute and speak directly to the speaker for their comments, observation. Yes, yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to ask Awan regarding that ordinal numeral nape, right? Since it is occurring in first as a nyapjung, right? It looks like is it something like front, and then it occurs with all others and saying that it is front from second from front, third from front. So nape looks like it is already indicating the front or first to me, a front one.
Okay.
So the one that is suffixed with the nap is already intensifying it in a way. Okay, I'll just show your screen, no, because it's not clear like this. So
yeah.
Yeah, this one, right? So it looks like it is fused with the young. That is, it shows like it is the front one, frontmost or something of that kind. Is it? I'm just asking. And then it occurs here,
yeah,
here,
almost,
here.
So
there's of direction showing.
Yeah. I'm also puzzled about this. Young. It is completely different from the other ordinal numerals and first and second. So it might be, it is completely different, and the literal meaning might be completely different. It has no numeral, I mean, parts of the numeral or parts of the numerals attached here. So I'm also puzzled about this. Yeah.
Awam,
Yeah.
if I may, could it be that Nyapyam, Nyapyam and Dalambi could be ordinals in the true sense? And the Nape construction is more of a periphrastic one. So we have to find out if Nape, like in, you see, in Duhumbi and other languages, could it be some kind of a marker? Is it a marker, or is it a marker in the sense that is it a lexical word? In a sense, nape could mean, like Monali was saying, front, in front. Two in front, three in front. Because the ordinals we have seen, that is in all the Arunachali languages, they have to do with the sitting position. Where is one sitting? And it is very clearly shown in the Durumbi ordinals also. So the one sitting one before me or after me. So we need to look into the postposition and the case markers. Maybe something will come out when you investigate further.
Now,
Yes, ma'am.
I also suspect that,
Yeah,
but
and this
in second,
Nape and Nap, yeah.
It could be an ordinal marker also, for all you know.
maybe.
But that interesting, but then that becomes a bit doubtful because you already have two free forms, and then you have derived forms.
Yes.
So the derived NAPE, you need to investigate in what other context it would appear, if
Yes,
it
ma'am.
appears.
Ma'am, and this Nyap and Nape could be allomorphs also because they are phonologically quite similar.
Could be, but yeah, he needs to study further. Maybe then he will get to know. Once he does the entire language, it will become clearer. It takes time. You know, the numeral system is very basic at one level. So, Bulupuroik has the ablative case marker. Then Duhumbi has the genitive case marker. So it could be a case marker, it could be a postposition, something on that line. If you look into more data, you'll get to know. That's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, if the participants have the question query for the first plenary speaker for Madam Barbara also, they can speak because we have time. So we can take some more questions for both the speakers.
Hello.
Yeah.
Can I come in?
Yes.
Okay. I want, Madam, and I want to thank you so much for the interesting topic. And I want to ask one question to Awant. Do this Tangam has this traditional way of measurement, like in the thickness, liquid or grain? So when they have a traditional way of measurement in grain, when they kill like pig or animals, or the tribal people, they used to measure how much the pig is big or how much the animal is big. So is it they have that kind of traditional way of measurement, or the height, how much he is tall, is like traditional way of measurement? Do you find any kind of?
They might, they might have. Unfortunately, it was a very quick data collection, and I did not collect detailed information about those things.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have more comments, observations, question, query for the both speakers? Okay, then we can move to the next speaker. Yeah, at the end of the session, we can take some more questions for all the three speakers. Now, I would like to invite Ibtesam Ahmad and Papuri Rava for their presentation. Ahmad and Rava, are you there? Yeah, I can see Papuri. Yeah, Ibtesam was also here. Yes. Yeah. You can take your time and please proceed for your presentation. Yeah, Papuri and Ahmad, please share your screen.
Ibtisam, is something or is everything all right with your laptop? It looks like.
Yeah, are you facing any technical problem? Yeah, you're audible, but your voice is very low. Are you using a headphone or you're using the laptop's microphone? No, still your voice is very low. Can you say something?
I think she has to open the PPT file first.
Yeah.
Before sharing the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ibtisam, you stop your sharing, and before you share, you keep your PPT open. After that, you share it. I think that will be the easiest way. Hello. Yeah, you stop your screen now, stop sharing, and you open your PPT first. After that, you share it. Yeah. Now you open your PPT. If you are using external headphone, please bring the microphone near your mouth because your voice is still low. Can you say something so that we can understand about the quality of your voice?
Or she may raise the volume.
Can we?
Yeah.
Vijan, can we do it like yesterday? Like they can give me a call and I can put it in loudspeaker and they can give the presentation.
Okay,
because
let's see.
When I checked the YouTube yesterday, the volume was fine. If it doesn't work, I mean.
Okay, let's see. Let her to present and let her to speak. If doesn't work, then we'll offer that alternative.
Okay.
Ibtisam, what is the problem that you're facing?
Actually, I'm not able to share my screen.
Can you please send me your PPT, Ibtisam? Can you WhatsApp? Can you send me in WhatsApp your PPT, please? I can share it for you if you have a problem in your laptop.
Yeah, that can be done.
Please share it to me now.
Okay, ma'am, I'm sharing.
Yeah, dear participants, please bear with us for 1 or 2 minutes. Ibtisam, have you shared the slide with Dr. Monali?
They haven't sent yet.
The background noises are clear, but when she starts speaking, the voice is very low.
Yeah. I think we have 2 minutes more
Mhm.
before the session can officially start because it's supposed to be 11:10 to 11:40. Please send it to me, Papuri, if you have the copy.
If Papuri also has the same presentation, that means the PPT, she can give a try also to share it from her end.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry?
Yes, I'm sending you the PPT.
I can't hear you.
Ibtisam, are you speaking from the headphone or from the laptop microphone?
Yes, I'm speaking through the headphone.
Headphone. Then please remove your headphone.
Can you remove the headphone?
Yeah, please remove your headphone and speak from directly from your laptop microphone.
Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yeah, it's better.
And let her raise the level of volume.
Yeah. Please raise your volume also. Yeah, fine.
Hello?
Yes, it's visible. Yeah, please put your slide in the screen, full screen. Okay, all good.
Okay, so sorry for the inconvenience.
Okay, all right. You can start now. Yeah, all good.
So, hello everyone.
The beginning of the slide. Okay,
Hello?
fine.
Hello everyone. Good morning to all of you. This is Ittasam, and I'm going to present a paper on the preliminary. Actually, this is a joint paper with Papuri Ragha, and our topic is preliminary study on case markers of Sunwar, as with special reference to Sikkim. So my co-author will present her. There's less time, so I'm going to present the paper. Hello.
Yeah, please go ahead. Yes, we are audible.
Here is the introduction of the language, a very brief introduction about the language. So, the Sunwar language belongs to the Tibeto-Burman group of the Sino-Tibetan family. Sir Grierson, in his Linguistic Survey of India, categorized Sunwar as a non-colonialized subgroup of Himalayan languages of Tibeto-Burman family. And as per the classification done by Paul Benedict, sir, the Sunwar falls under the Vaihing Vayu group of Vaihing branch of the Tibeto-Burman subfamily. The Sunwar are referred to as cultivating tribes which originally were hunters and is considered as a class belonging to the class of Mukhya, that is the chief among the other tribes. Though primarily Sunwars are inhabitants of Nepal, in India, they extended their existence to all over the Sikkim and also can be found in every district of Sikkim, that is the east, west, south, and north district. But in the north, the population is relatively less than the other districts. Sunwar people are very sparsely scattered in all over the Sikkim state and also can be found in the contiguous hill areas of Darjeeling and West Bengal also. So the population is very less of Sunwar. According to 1951 census, number of speakers recorded was only 644, and in 1961 census number of 1991 census, the number of speakers was recorded only 297. And due to the restriction of publishing the population list below 10,000 from 1971 census, the speaker strength of Sunwar is not available and hence put within the category others of others. And I want to put something here only. Here again, that the community is or also categorized as the most backward classes of Sikkim. That is all MBC. So the exact total population is rigorous, but according to the voters list of the state for 1999, Sinwar are a very small community numbering only 2091 in the whole Sikkim. Now I'm going to continue with my topic, that is the case markers of Sinwar, and here is the short introduction of case. That is, case is a universal feature present in all human languages of the world. In some languages, case is overtly marked, while in some, it is covertly marked. Then, according to Anvita Appe, uh, cases exhibit the relation between verbs and nouns in a sentence. This relation can be exhibited by rich inflectional endings on nouns, as in Sanskrit and Konkani. Sometimes it is demonstrated by adpositions known as pre or postposition occurring with or without any morphological change in nouns they are attached to. Hence, one must distinguish between case and case markers. So, there there's a table of the case markers and types of this one. So there are 7 types of cases we found in the preliminary study. There are, I think, there will be more types of cases. I will try to find out further studies. So the types of cases I found: nominative case, accusative case, genitive case, dative case, ablative case, locative, and instrumental case. But the markers of the nominative case is mean, and which is also the same marker of instrumental case also. And the markers Kali is accusative case marker. Then the genitive case markers are K and R. Dative case markers are Kal. Then ablative case is the Ray or Lay. Then locative case is Ta. And instrumental case, as I said, it is same with the nominative case. Give examples of every type of cases, like nominative case. The nominative case in any language is the subjective case. It marks the subject in the sentence, but more specifically, it marks on the subject of the verb. In Sinwar, the nominative case is marked with me. This is shown through the following examples. Here, the following example. In example number 1, it is me, me, sapan, japti, me. That is, me is the it is it is the third person plural number, but we can also say that me is the second person singular number also. In Sinwar is me. We can get the difference only in the suffix that is connected with the verb. So here, me is day, me is the nominative marker, and sapan means a lot or more. Jap temi means the word jap is actually means eat, and temi means the third person plural and past tense. The meaning of that uh, sentence, me sapan jap temi, is they ate a lot. And the second example is Sikha Akwili Ratu. Sikha, here Sikha and nominalizer me is the nominalizer. Then I is the genitive marker, which shows the position, and Quili means leg, and Fra means break or fracture and all. They have only one word for this kind of words like break and the two is the past tense third person singular number. So the meaning of the sentence Sikha mi akhili thatu is Sikha fractured her leg. Here we can see the difference between the verb, the suffix that is conjuncted with the verb, and we can also differentiate the number also from the verb. Like in the first example, it is Temi. That means they, the third person plural number, and in two, it is the third person singular number. Then the accusative case. Accusative case defines the direct object of a verb. A noun is said to be in the accusative when it is the direct object of the verb. Suffix kali is the accusative case marker in Sunwar, which is shown in the examples below. Kuchum means more kali trying to. Kuchum means the dog, me is the nominative case. Then more is the man, and kali is the accusative case. And try is the for bite, and two is the past tense. The dog bite with the man. The next example is Nina mi Rantu Kali Lish Patka Two. Here the Nina is the adjective and the mi is the nominative marker. Then Ranju is Ranju and the Kali is the accusative marker here. And Lishpat means the letter and Ka means the numeral. That means a letter. And pray means right. Actually, the pray sound is means the writing of a paper. That the two is the past form. So the meaning of the sentence is Nina wrote a letter to Ranju.
Ibtisam, can you speak louder?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah. Just speak louder.
Okay. Here is the genitive case. It is used as a construction of the possessor and the possessive. In Sunwar, the genitive case is marked with the suffix k and the prefix a. The suffix k is followed by the noun, whereas actually there is a typing mistake. I forgot to mention the noun. And whereas the prefix precedes the noun. The examples we can cite Rimi ke Berma ka bag. This is Rimi. Here K is the genitive marker. Kit ka Berma is the lexicon for the kit, and the ka is the numeral Berma ka. Ba means the B verb, and tha means the third person singular, that is present verb, that is Rimi has a cat. And the next example is Ini mi takal anache captu. Ini mi is the nominative marker. Then ita kal. The kal is the accusative here, and anache a is the genitive marker here, and hearing nache means the hearing, and captu gap means to give, and two means the two is the suffix of past tense. Meaning of the sentences: we gave her hearing to be the. In the dative case, the dative case indicates the object that receives the direct indirect action of the verb for the purpose of showing direction or reception. The direction object is indirect object is usually a person or animate thing that is the recipient in an agent object recipient transaction. In Sunwar, spell is used to mark dative case. We can cite the example below. Deepak Pal Sher Hame Yo. Deepak and Pal is the dative case. Dative marker, and share means book. Actually, the whole word share Hame is one word which is used to mean the rice, the cooked one. So means if that is the imperative, that is the sentence imperative sentence, which is but the imperative marker is null here. So we can yo is the we can say that from yo we can say that this is an imperative sentence. The meaning of the sentence is give rise to Deepak. And the next example is Simapal Bong Kyupatka Gyakta. Simapal is the dative case marker and Bo is first person singular number. Kyupat is the book and Ka is the numeral. Kyupatka a book. Gyakta, that is the give means give, and Ta is the past tense marker. Sentences I gave a book to Seema. Here is the ablative case. The basic function of ablative case is to indicate movement away from some location in Sumar. The marker ray is used to denote the ablative case, that is, we can cite some examples in the below, that is Rawa Re Sabato. That is, Rawa is a tree, Ray is the ablative marker. Here, Safa is lips, and plural marker is null here. And Dot is do means fall down, and Tho is the sentence marker. The meaning of the sentences is fall from the tree. And the next example is me, he, re, not let me. Me is the third person singular number. And me is accusative here. He is house. Ray is the ablative marker. Not means the Monday. Let means to return, to come back. And nim is the future marker, future tense marker. The meaning of the sentence is he will return from home on Monday. There is another example of lay marker, that is Uklu Palang lay do. Uklu here is the infant and Palang is there is no technical term for bed and all. So they used to borrow this word from Nepali only. Since Nepali, the Nepali language is surrounding where the people live. So Buklu Palang Lay Road. So here the Buklu is infant and Palang Lay, Palang is the bed and Lay is the adjective marker here. And road means do is the for noun and Tho is the really there is a mistake. Tho is the present tense. Here is a mistake, typing mistakes, etc. So the meaning of the sentences: the baby fell from the bed. Here, locative case. The locative case of Sulmar is also marked with the suffix ta, and some of the examples are mentioned below. So, the example is me, ta, tu, but, I, tu. The third person singular number and nominalizer here me and is is a table. Here it is again the borrowing of the word taken from the Nepali word. And ta is the locative marker. Chopat means the book, and I means to keep the keeping, and the two is the past tense. So the meaning of the sentence is she kept the book on the table. The next is the instrumental case. So the instrumental case expresses the instrument, that means by which something is done. And the suffix "me" is also used as an instrumental case marker. That is also a case marker of nominative case also. The example is "me me but kami rebe itu." That is, "me" is the third person singular number, and "me" is the nominative marker here. "Kar" means knife, "ka" means the numeral one. "Me" is instrumental marker, that is "cut kami," that is a knife, and "rebe" means potato, and "itu" means cut, and "two" is the past tense marker here. And the meaning of the sentence is she cut the potato with knife. So here is the conclusion that the Sunwar language tends to distinguish between seven types of cases, that is nominative, accusative, ablative, dative, genitive, locative, and instrumental cases. In Sunwar, all these cases are overtly marked. The language has a homophonous word "me," which is used in more than one situation like nominative and instrumental cases. The third person singular and plural "me" is unmarked, and one can understand the difference of number only through the case markers suffixed to the verbs. All the other case markers of Sunwar follows the nouns except the genitive case marker "are," which always precedes the noun. Here's a bibliography of the. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ebtisam. Thank you very much for your detailed presentation on the case marking in Sunwar and completing your presentation before time. Thank you very much for that. So I think there must be some question, query, observation from the participants. So before that, I just want to ask one thing. Are you a speaker of Sunwar?
No, I'm not a speaker of Sunwar.
Okay, then what is the location of your field?
It is Sikkim.
Sikkim.
Yeah, because the speakers are very few in number, and the Sunwar speakers are scattered all over the Sikkim, and we cannot get a typical village where only Sunwar people resides. So I have to study the whole Sikkim state.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Okay, now the paper for Ibetsam and Papuri is open for discussion, comments, and observation. So the speakers, the attendees can unmute and can speak directly to the speakers.
Papuri, Rabha, I think so. Papuri Rabha and Miss Ahmed. I have a query. Like you have a sentence: "Leaves fall from trees." I think so. There is a sentence. Can you show the slide? Leaves fall from trees.
Ablative, in the ablative. Yes.
Leave, suffer. You said that all the nouns are case marked, but leaf is not case marked here. Why?
So it's
Yeah. So actually, the order is like the from tree ablative. The obligant P is in the initial position, but the subject is suffer, leaves. So this is one thing we need to look at. Why leaves are not taking case marker. It's a intransitive construction, so it has to do with the verb type, transitive, intransitive. That is one. Then one example where you had the pronoun, personal pronoun singular, more, I think so. Which is that sentence? Because the other third person singular is taking case accusative. Me is accusative or nominative? Because in some places me is nominative. She will return. Shouldn't me be nominative in 10 instead of she will return from home on Monday? So there's a typing error. Could be a typing error. That's okay. You can. It's typing. It happens. No, there was one sentence where you have the first person singular as subject. Can you come to that sentence? I missed it somewhere. Maybe in earlier slides.
Go to next.
Next slide, just go because you say me is the case marker. Me, they, it is taking. Shikha is nominative noun. Fine. Fine, no problem. Next slide. Dog is fine. Nana is fine. These are all verb of action, so no problem. There is one sentence with I. You go down, you'll know. Please go down the slide. Jimmy. I gave a book. Huh? That is, I gave a book. Go to that sentence.
Earlier one.
Previous slide.
Yes.
So it, Sima, I gave a book to Sima. God does not take any case marker. Why? Because this is a verb of action, and you have to look into all this, you know. These are where your research will progress. So why is go, the first person singular, not taking a case marker? That is the subject. This is a verb of action, because the other verbs, third person, you have case marker. Is it that the first person doesn't take case marker? Something of that kind.
And it's a irregular term because go sometimes when the go
Yeah.
go
Please speak loud, a bit louder.
yeah ma'am. When go acts as a subject, then we can see go as taking case marker, nominative case marker.
Well, here go is subject, no? Your word order is changing because
Yeah.
the indirect object is before the subject.
Go doesn't take me at all the time. People also say that go without taking the case marker me, but in some cases I have seen that go is taking case marker, but in some cases it doesn't take. So I have to study more. But
Yeah. Now this is where the the interesting things will come out from all this data. Suppose you have a verb of emotion like John loves his dog. John loves his dog, his pet. So will John take me?
then pardon me.
If you have a sentence, John loves his dog.
John me.
Loves his dog.
John me.
Will it take me?
Yeah, that will take. Jomli, Jomli,
John.
Dap. That is the formation of sentence. John loves dog.
So you should also, what I'm trying to hint at is that you not only take verb of action, you also take other verb types and see semantically different love, emotion, and see whether the me marker is occurring or not. Or does it take, because me could also, because in Assamese it takes the ergative, of course, but in some languages it will take the genitive or whatever case is there for possession or love, emotion. Just to help you to explore further, I'm giving you these points.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah, this is observation, Jess, and all the best.
Yeah, Ibtisam, in your example number 8, if we change the order like go me simakal, is it also possible?
In which case, Gomi.
Yeah,
Yes, it is also possible. Gomi Simakal.
Yeah, go me simakal, right?
I have not really started.
Even the baby is also leaf, baby. So when it is the subject is not active, that is when you don't have it. And there could be the baby is chasing the cat. Suppose you say the baby is chasing the dog. I suppose then you'll have a me there.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So these are things we need to look at. Then your paper will be quite interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so any other participants who wants to give a comment, observation, or any query? The floor is open for both, not both, for all the three speakers, including plenary speaker, Madam Barbara. So participants can comment, give observation, or they can ask questions directly to our three speakers. Okay, if we don't have any more queries, observation, then I would like to close this session, and I think Monali is, yes, I would like to hand over to the Monali. I think she's facing some network issue, so she's disconnecting and connecting. Monali, are you there? Yeah, Monali.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Pijan, for chairing the session for Languages of Eastern Himalayas, and thank you to our honorable plenary speaker, Professor Madhumita Borbara ma'am, for her very interesting talk on the Khobua cluster languages of Arunachal Pradesh, and also to our paper presenters, Dr. Awan, and scholars from our department.
Monali, you are not audible. Yes, Monali.
Yeah. I just got disconnected. So thank you to Ibtisam and Papuri also for your presentations on one for Tangam language and for the letter for the Sunwar language of Sikkim. And thank you to all the participants present here today in the morning session. We'll be beginning the afternoon session shortly in an hour at 1 p.m. We should be languages of Northeast India, and we hope to see you there soon. So thank you, and yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, bye-bye.